One of the things that I feel like you can relate to if you're creative nowadays is you put so much effort and creativity into the work and the content that you produce, and then you see someone doing TikTok dances and low effort content and they get more attention, they get more views, and it's quite disheartening to see. So the question that arises is, should you become a creative? So today we're going to go through, should you become a creative in 2024? Promise of this video is I will provide insight into what it takes to be a creative in a fulfilling way and the actionable steps you can take if you do consider pursuing this path. So first of all, who am I? I worked in the film industry as a VFX director. I direct and create my own short films, and I run my own Melbourne-based streetwear brand. My name is RK. I help young creators monetize their craft in a fulfilling way. First of all, if you are the type of person who clicked on this video, respect to you because you care about your education and investing in yourself. Something that would help both me and you in the long run is clicking the subscribe button down below to see more content like this on your feed. If you are the type of person to watch good educational content like this and you are an aspiring creative, I would love to have a chat and help you monetize your craft in a fulfilling way. When you trust me enough, it's the first link down below. So the key factors we're going to go through today is, number one, you might not even know that you're a creative. Number two, the two routes that you can take on this path. Number three, which side of history do you really want to be on? And number four, the actionable steps you can take if you do consider pursuing this path of being a creative. If you want to be a creative, this is all that you need. You need the ability to think about a task or a problem in a new or different way. Something that most people don't understand is that their life experiences are unique compared to anyone else in this world. You are a creative inherently as a human. It starts with your self-image. You need to label yourself as a creative if you want to start taking this seriously. When you talk and you say things like, I'm not a creative, or this is not cut out for me, the self-image that you have and the limiting beliefs that you create yourself hold you down from pursuing this path. So number two, the two routes that you can take on this pursuit of being a creative. So if you've watched the Avatar, The Last Airbender, it's this children's show that used to air on Nickelodeon and stuff. One of my personal favorite cartoon TV shows. There's a lot that you can learn from it, even though it's a kid's show. The two paths that you can take, the guy on the left, he's a monk and he's a master of his craft. So as a creative, this is representative of taking the path of being number one and mastering your craft for the sake of creating. And you can see the other path still leads to becoming this master, but it goes through this other character. So if you watch the show, this is Uncle Iroh. He's this empathetic leader who's relatable, and he helps all the people in his path along his journey to becoming this master. He's a great guy, he gives great advice, and he's always there to see the good in people and help people through the skills that he has and the things that he can provide into this world. Yes, they both end up in the same place, but the fulfillment and the benefits that Uncle Iroh gets on his path of becoming a master is different than if you just focused on honing in your craft and you mastering your craft and you not helping anyone else. Especially in now's day and age, as being a creative, it's quite subjective of who's number one, because everyone's number one is different when it comes to things that are subjective like art and creative projects. So taking this red path is kind of a gamble, especially nowadays. You don't know the situations and the circumstances that might happen to getting to that top 1%. Yes, it's always something that we're going to strive towards in this path, but it would be smarter and a lot more fulfilling if we reaped all the benefits and we helped all the people that we could along this way, along this path. Both paths are quite noble, but the smarter person in now's day and age would see the benefit in also helping people along the way and building up your wealth in a fulfilling way on your journey of becoming number one. So which side of history do you want to be on? This is a mindset that you need to understand. There are two types of content out there right now that people consume. One is the more entertainment, high dopamine, TikTok-y kind of content where there's so many different things going on. And the other type of content is this more educational, slow, low dopamine content like this gold standard content that might not be as popular but provides a lot of value to the masses. Something I want to ask you is, would you rather have 1 million views and likes on the digital space but then have no one in real life supporting you and helping you through this process? Or would you mind 100 to 1,000 to 2,000 maybe social media impressions, but then having at least a good half to 2 to 3/4 of those people helping you and investing in your creative work and actually wanting to see you grow? because you're providing value back to them. This person on the left could be pushing 1 million, 2 million, even 10 million social media impressions, but they're not converting that because the type of people and the quality of content, the value that they're giving is the same amount of value that they're getting in return, which is not that much. Compared to this is Dr. Huberman. If you've been in the more educational kind of space on YouTube, you would have seen this guy's videos. He provides high quality educational content on how people can use the breakthroughs in medicine nowadays to change their behaviors, to improve themselves in the long run. So this is something that you need to understand. When you're creating on this path, especially if you want to be like Uncle Ira and take this blue path, you need to constantly provide value and help people on your way to becoming the person that you want to be, because you're not going to get anything in return if you produce this low quality content. Can you see that both of these people you can see creating something like this, but neither of these people you can see creating something like this? So your impressions and everything is going to absolutely plummet when you start making educational high quality content, because the type of people that you're targeting right now isn't that high quality kind of educational people who want to genuinely invest in receiving services from you and connecting with your creative work. The type of people that are watching your content are just there for the doom scroll. So people get disheartened and they want to do all these different things. So one day they're posting educational content, and then next day they're posting the overstimulation, high consumerism kind of TikToks. And what happens is, if you're trying to make progress towards, you're starting at A and you're trying to make progress towards B, they're making TikToks that are going in this direction, pushing them in this direction, and then they're pulling them in this direction with their educational content. But then every now and then they're doing like a cooking video on YouTube or on their social media, and it's pulling them in this direction. And then every Tuesday they're doing streams where they play video games, and it's pulling them in this direction. If you don't pick one and you don't double down on one, first pick which side of history do you want to be on. The type of people that I want to teach and the type of people that I want to communicate with, we're trying to be on Uncle Iroh's side of history, and maybe even if you really know that that's what's cut out for you, maybe even the red path. If it's very specific and you know that that's the one thing you're going to work on for the rest of your life, you have a calling for it. But most of us, it's going to be the blue Uncle Iroh path. We're going to pick one thing and one type of person that we can help, and we are going to dedicate all our creative work into helping that person, and we're going to grow from A and we're going to go to B. And then you'll ask me, what about all the other things that I want to do? If you want to be here and be stuck in this place, by all means, but you can always do other things once you get to B. It's easier to maintain the growth that you've made compared to making the growth. It takes a big push, lots of energy, activation energy, in order to grow in the first place, but then it's easier to maintain. It's kind of like driving. Accelerating is when you use the most energy, but then when you're at cruising speed, you basically don't use that much energy, you just maintain that speed. So once you're at B, you've put everything in, you double down on your niche, you're at B, you've helped the people that you want to be. It's going to take a while. You're at B, then you can add C, right? And then now you have this web of things that you have for yourself and you've mastered. So finally, actionable steps. We've talked about mindsets, now we're going to talk about the actionable steps you can take. First of all, what kind of people do you want to help? What are their goals? What are their frustrations that they have in their life? Write this down, brainstorm it. What skills and milestones have you achieved in your path of being a better creative that you can help these people achieve as well? This could be something small like getting your first freelance client, working your first time in the industry. These are little things that you can teach your younger self and pull them up so that they can be on your level, and they're going to throw you a couple tokens and you're going to grow as well. Third, what are ways you can use your craft to help these people have the things that you've learned? What are ways that you can represent them? What are ways that you can teach them? What are ways that you can raise awareness for them so that they can get to those milestones and little skills that you've achieved on your path of being a creative? For each of these 3 questions, write down 10 things. Why 10? Because you're going to run out of meaningful ideas and you're going to strike a blank at like 5 or 6. Then the last 4, you're going to have to think outside the box to fill up the number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? Last step is taking this information that you have and putting it to action. For your final list of what are the ways you can help people, usually it's like 7, 8, 9, and 10 are probably your most well thought out ideas. So you take action on the one that you feel like is going to have the most impact on the most people for as many people as possible and as many times as possible. And that is how you, one, get traction as a creative, be on the right side of creative history, and number three, make it as a creative. If you want a full roadmap on how to do this and everything, you can watch my video. It's called A Roadmap for Aspiring Creatives. There'll be a link somewhere. So the key factors that we went through today, you might be a creative and you might not even know it. There's two routes that you can take. Number three, which side of history do you want to be on? And number four, the actionable steps you can take once you're making this decision to pursue being a creative. The promise at the start of this video is I will provide insight into what it takes to be a creative in a fulfilling way and the actionable steps you can take if you do consider pursuing this path. If you are serious, which you are, if you've watched all the way to the end of this educational content, I would love to have a chat with you and we can work on how to monetize your craft in a fulfilling way. It's the first link down below. Thank you very much.